Okay, so we will start. The agenda for this week will be to understand how search engines work, what are search engines, and then to understand how SEO works, what are the important factors, not important factors, but success factors in SEO. Then we will also start with the first step of SEO, which is keyword research, which will be the agenda for our Thursday session. Okay, so for today, we will just look at the introduction part. All right. So before we start, how many of you or what do you understand with search engine? Can anybody tell what do you think a search engine is? It's organic. Anybody else? The moment we think of SEO, Google comes in mind. SEO is focused on growing visibility. I've asked what is search engine. SEO is a later term. I've asked about the search engine. Okay, let me explain. A search engine is basically right. Google, Yahoo, Bing, they are search engines. A software that helps to search, correct. So basically a website with a search box where once you put a query, it returns with a list of result. Okay, that is a search engine. Today, if you look at the search boxes, then in fact, Facebook search box is also a search engine. Okay, it is a Facebook search engine. App Store, if you look at Google Play Store, there is a search in App Store also. So if you enter a query in that search box, it returns with a list of app results. So that search box in the App Store is App Store search engine. Then no, uh, Google, Bing, Yahoo, all these are also search engines. Okay. So how this all started? The very first search engine that was launched in 1992 was Yahoo. Yahoo was actually not a search engine but a directory with a list of categories, and inside every category there used to be a list of websites that belong to that category. And at that time, webmasters, the website owners, they used to manually enter their website to Yahoo directory. 1992, this is the period that is mentioned when all these search engines were launched, Suprat. Yahoo was launched in 1992. So, slowly the number of websites started growing in Yahoo. And all the sites have grown so much that Yahoo had to introduce a search box, right? That's how Yahoo became the first search engine. Then uh, after that, lot of other search engines came into the market. Web crawler was one. Then there was Excite. Then there was Lycos. Then Infoseek, Alta Vista. Now all these search engines were launched between the year of 1992 to 94. And their goal was to show the list of results related to the query that user has entered in the search box. Then in 1998, a big revolution happened. Big Daddy of search engine came. Can anybody tell me the name of that Big Daddy? Wow, everybody knows it. So in 1998, Google was launched. And imagine Google was launched as the practice project of two California University students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Okay, they launched it as a practice project. Then after they launched Google, they started doing enhancements. So Google was an algorithm-based search engine. There used to be, or there is an algorithm that runs behind every query, and on the basis of the algorithm, you see result on the search result pages. Okay. So they Larry Page and Sergey Brin, they kept on doing advancement to the algorithm that processes the query to show the relevant results. Namrita, that is an algorithm. So they kept on doing advancement to the algorithms to show more and more relevant results, and the usage becomes so big that today 85% of people across the globe use Google. About 80-85%. Now, with when Google came into existence, um, the when Google was launched, after that, it defined three major functions of a search engine. No, Mayank, we will not get into that. It's all technical and programming language. So algorithm, we can't get that algorithm, of course, and I will not be, even if we get, I will not be able to explain it because it's a complete development thing. Okay, so let's not go into that detail. It is not a part of our SEO agent SEO course also. So with all these development, three functions of a search engine were defined, and name of these three functions are crawling, indexing, and ranking. Now, before I start explaining these three functions, is anybody not clear with any terms here? All of you know search queries, right? So whatever you enter in Google box or any search engine box is a search query. So Singapore vacation here is a search query. Okay, and this page is a search result page. So let's move to the functions. So every search engine has to perform these three functions in order to show the result on a search result page. Okay, so let's understand these functions. So first function is crawling. So to explain crawling, I will give you the example of the real spider. Okay, we all of us have seen spider in our houses, outside, anywhere. What does a spider do? What is the core job of a spider? It crawls and makes web, weaves web, catches its prey. Right. So what does a spider do? It crawls over the wall or things, right? It crawls, and then while crawling, it creates a web. And then whatever insects or whatever is coming across the web, it catches all of that. Okay. So consider search engine crawler as a spider. Crawlers are basically the programs designed by search engine, the software of a search engine that helps search engine to show result on the search result page. Okay, so this is a software that crawls over the internet. So what happens the minute we make a website, the minute we make our website live, all the URLs or all the address of our web pages are pushed to a URL queue over the internet. Okay, is everyone aware with the URL, with the term URL? Anybody who doesn't know what URL is, guys, at any point of time, if you are not clear with any term, please mention it in the chat box so that I explain the term to you. Yeah, uniform resource locator, that's true. Those who don't know what URL is, the link of a web page is also called URL. Okay? No, Namrita, the link, the page, web page is also known as URL. So if I click this page of Make My Trip, this is the URL that is coming in the address bar. Okay, so the minute we make our website live, all URLs of our website are pushed to a URL queue over internet. So what these crawlers do, these crawlers crawl this URL queue day and night. Okay, and when they crawl the URL from this URL queue, obviously they pick up URLs from the queue. Now, after they pick up URLs from the queue, what they do, they extract the information that is available on that URL or that page. The crawlers extract the information from that URL and store the information into its own database. So every search engine has its own database. Okay. So this function is known as crawling. Crawling the URL from the URL queue and extracting the information from that URL is known as crawling. Okay, is everybody clear with the crawling function? They follow the same algorithm, Sumita. All right. Now, after they have extracted the information from a URL, they store the information into the database. Now, this database is very big, okay? Because crawler work day and night, they work 24/7, and they keep extracting information from different URLs and store the information into database. So while they store the information into database, they also put that information into the right segment. For example, this page of Make My Trip is about Singapore vacation tour packages. Now, there could be a category called travel in the database. Inside the travel, there could be categories like domestic travel and international travel. And in international travel, there could be a page, or sorry, there could be a segment called Singapore. So what these URLs or what these crawlers will do, they will extract the information. While they are extracting the information, they will understand what the page is about. Okay, with the help of the content that is available on the page, they will understand what the page is about, and what they will do while storing the information into database, they will put the information into the right segment. Okay, so this part of entering the data information into the right segment in database is known as indexing. Okay, is everybody clear with indexing? After extracting information from a URL, storing that information into the right segment into database is the function of indexing. Are you clear now? Guys, is everybody clear now? Faisal and Suprat, are you clear? Seed URL is nothing. Don't get confused with the terms, Sumita. Don't look at this. Don't pay attention to the terms. Just try to register whatever I'm telling in mind. Okay. Seed URL. Don't go by terms. Seed URL is the base URL basically. Whatever pages you create on your website, those are the seed URLs. So don't go by the term. That's the reason I'm not explaining the next slide, because to me it is very confusing. So I generally don't explain this. I explain crawling and indexing right from this picture. Okay. No, Sumita, seed URL is your page URL. Okay, it's a page URL. Namrita, you have not understood the function indexing, is it? Okay, you are clear with the crawling function? Okay, so after crawling that URL, what the crawler does, it extracts the information from that URL and it saves that information to the right category in the search engine database. So I was giving an example of this Make My Trip page. If this page is about Singapore vacation tour packages, then crawler would have saved the URL and information into the Singapore category page in travel segment. So that part is known as indexing, putting the information into the right segment in search engine database. Okay. Is everybody clear with the indexing function? And remember, the software of search engine that help them crawl the page are called crawlers. Search engine crawlers. 1 second. They are called search engine crawlers. They are also known as search engine spiders. They are also known as search engine bots. Okay, all three are the same thing. The software of search engines that help search engines to crawl the pages are known as crawlers or spiders or bots. Shall we move ahead? Is everybody clear with both the functions, crawling and indexing? Quickly say yes, no, please. All right. Then comes the third function of a search engine. Now, imagine every day search engine crawler crawls millions and zillions of web pages. Okay. And obviously, it keeps adding information to its own database every second, right? Now, let's take an example of Google. It was launched in 1998. Since 1998 till now, Google's database would have been huge, right? It would have been very, very big or I mean, very huge database, right? So, how Google will decide which result to show on top for this search query and which one to show on bottom? Because for the same search query, Google crawler would have stored a lot of URLs into the database, right? So how would Google decide which result to show on top and which one to show on bottom? Now, for deciding this particular thing, for deciding this placement, Google's algorithm come in picture. Google has set of algorithms, set of rules basically that help uh, Google's crawler to evaluate every web page from the right category or every web page that is relevant to the search query. I repeat, Google's crawler help Google to decide what help Google to decide what pages it should show on top for a search query and what pages it should show on bottom based on certain algorithms. Okay, that part is known as ranking, which means Google crawler should be able to run every page through the algorithm, and whatever page is able to pass the highest number of factors from that algorithm will be shown on top, and whatever pages are able to pass the lowest number of factors in the algorithm will be shown at the bottom or to the next pages. Okay, so that part is known as ranking. Okay, is everybody clear? Search crawler is only for SEO vessel. Is everybody clear with the ranking function? Anybody who didn't understand? Sumita, Namrata? Yes, Faisal, tell me. I told you they are only for SEO. Yes, Namrata, right. Sumita, are we there yet? Have I started explaining the factors yet? Please wait. Throughout this module, I will take you through all these factors. Not all these, I mean some of the important factors. Okay, but for now, are you clear with the ranking function? Sumita, are you clear with the ranking function? Okay. Faisal, wait. You will understand all of that. All your questions will be answered. Don't worry. This is not the last session, guys. This is just the first session, just the starting. All right. Now, coming back to the ranking function, I just told that there is an algorithm set of rules against which every page has to go through, right? Now, this algorithm has more than 200 plus factors designed by Google. Now, nobody knows what those 200 plus factors are because Google has not disclosed those factors to anyone. But what we know some of the important factors. And throughout this module, I will take you through those important factors. You need to work on those important factors, and you can obviously, once you work upon those factors, obviously your ranks or your website will also start appearing on top in the search result pages. Okay. So now coming back to these factors, one of the important factor of this algorithm is known as page rank. It's known as page rank. Okay. Now, before I explain page rank, what do you understand, or what is your takeaway from this picture? What do you think this picture depicts? Tell me. So consider every circle as a separate website. Okay, every circle is a separate website. What do you understand from this picture? Optimize, B is optimize, linking, B should be on top, biggest rank, highest. Is it not looking like a network? Every site is connected to each other. Right, Mayank. Correct. It is like a linking network. I told you consider every circle as a separate website. So B is linking back to site C, and site C is linking back to site B. Site F is linking to site B. Site F is also linking to site E. Site A is not linking to any website. Site D is linking to B and A, right? So it is a network basically. Every site is linked to each other, so it is a network. Now, coming back to the page rank concept, the page rank also depends on this networking. Now, what is page rank? Google assigns a score to every web page that it crawls. Okay. If Google has crawled 10 different pages of your site, then Google will assign a certain score to every page. Okay. Now, this score will be out of 10. We cannot see what the score is for any web page because there is no such toolbar that will show the page score to you. But if your rank once your rank starts getting better into search result page, then that means your page rank is also improving. Now this page rank also depends on a lot of factors. One of the factor is links on the page. So I will give a very simple example here. It might sound a stupid example to you, but it will help you to understand the page rank concept. So let's say you have 100 rupee and there is a rule in your house that whoever is coming to your house, you have to give 10 rupee to that person. Okay. So in morning, 3 of your family member came to your house. So how much money you had to give out? 30 rupee, and balance is 70, right? All right. Then in evening, 2 outsiders came. Okay. So 2 outsiders, they are not your family members. So you had to give how much? 20 rupee, right? And the balance money that you have is 50, right? So you gave out 50 rupee, you are left with 50 rupee only. So consider page rank as the money that you have. Okay. So let's say this page has a page score or page rank 8 out of 10 by Google. Let's just assume. So as per the example, the uh, like I gave an example that whoever is coming to your house, you have to give 10 rupee to that person. Similarly, there is a simple funda or simple rule of page rank, and the rule is whatever links are added to this page. All of you understand links, hyperlinks? Guys, all of you understand links? So these are all hyperlinks. Clickable text is a hyperlink. Okay. So the rule is whatever links are added on this particular page, some percentage of the page rank of this page will be passed on to these links also. So 8 is the page rank of this page. Now let's assume there are about 10 links added on this page, and according to Google, 0.01 the rank of this page will be, of the page score will be passed on to all 10 links, right? So what will happen to the page rank event ultimately? What will happen to the page rank of this page? If the portion is passed on to these links, what will happen to the page score of this page? Will it go down, stay same, or will it increase? It will get affected, but what will be the effect? How will it go high, Ravi Shankar? I'm talking about the page rank of this particular page. The page score is 8. As per the page rank rule, some percentage of page score 8 will be passed on to each of these links. So what will happen? Guys, what are you guys talking? Why can't you hear my question properly? I am asking some percentage of page rank 8 is passed on to each of these links. So ultimately, the page rank of this page will reduce or not? Very good, Johnson. Why will it remain the same? It is passed on. These are not the same link. If I click bundle and save, it takes me to another page. It is not the same page, right? Just like the example, you are left with 50 rupees only. Why can't you relate it with the example? Yes, Sumita. Consider page rank as the money that you have, and the percentage is the 10 rupee that you have to give out to the people who are coming to your house. Is everybody clear with the first rule of page rank? It is not the same page. That is what I'm trying to tell you. What is the page here? The page is Singapore Destination Travel Guides. If I click this link, it is taking me to Expedia search result blah 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 page. No, we are not talking about the website here. We are talking about a particular page. The page rank for this particular page will reduce or not. Forget about the site. Right? KM, are you clear now? All right. Now I'll go back to my example again. I am assuming all of you are clear with the first rule, and the first rule is whatever links are added to a particular page, some portion of that page rank will be passed on to these pages, to these links also. Okay, is everybody clear with this rule? Shall we move to the next rule now? Okay. Now the next rule is going back to example. Now you gave out 50 rupee, but out of that 50 rupee, three people who came to your house in the morning were your family members, right? So your money stays within the family, and two people who came in the evening were the outsiders. So how much money you have actually lost out of family? Tell me. 20 rupees you have lost. 30 rupees you you yourself have lost, but it stays within the family, right? Similarly, if the link that you have added are your own website link, then your page rank stays within the site. I repeat, it stays within the site. It will not stay within this particular page, but it will stay within the site. But any link that is not related to your website, if it is an external site link, then you will actually lose out the page rank, that portion of page rank to that link. Okay, so that is the second rule. Second rule is whatever percentage is passed on to these links, if these links are your own website links, then your money stays within the family. But if these links are external site links, then your page rank actually goes out. Okay, so you have actually lost page rank in that case. Okay, so these are these two simple rules of page rank. Tell me if anyone is confused with any of the rules. Very good, Sumita. Guys, this one, okay, this time I want to see response from everyone. Yes, I have example. 1 second. So this is the page, right? Now, if you look at these pages, they all are related to Pick Your Trail. If I open these pages, this is pickyourtrail.com. This is again another page of pickyourtrail.com. All these links are pickyourtrail.com link. But if you go below and click on these press links, okay, these are the PR or newspaper sites. If I click this link, it is actually taking me to a newspaper website, which is the Hindu Business Online. Okay, this is an external site link. So what will happen? Whatever page score Google has assigned to this page, some portion of that page score will be passed on to these external links also. So the page rank will actually go out. It will not remain within the site. Okay, Faisal, are you clear? Tell me. I will answer this question in the next week session, Mayank, because next week session I will also tell you that if at all you have to place these external links, then how can you save your page rank in that case? So I will answer this question in the next week session. This is not ad. This is Pick Your Trails article, press release article that is published on Hindu. It's a PR of Pick Your Trail. Why is this placed here on Pick Your Trail homepage is something that I will explain in the next week session. Faisal. There is a reason to it. I will explain that reason in the next session. Okay, next week session I meant. All right, let's go back to slides. So this is the page rank concept. That is one of the factors of ranking, search engine, search result page rankings. So with this, everybody is clear with all three functions. Crawling, indexing, and ranking. Everybody is clear with all three functions, right? Guys, is everybody clear? All right. Now, I am telling the algorithm only, Sumita. What I told you a few minutes back, I told you that I will be explaining few things to you throughout this module. You you don't have to follow algorithms. You have to follow few factors of this algorithm. It's just one algorithm that Google follows. Okay, there are more than 200 plus factors for this algorithm. Yes, not first as in I'm not giving any priority wise. I'm not going to explain in priority wise. One of the factor is page rank. Faisal, save this question for end, okay? ask this question again in the question answer round at the end of this session. All right. Okay. Now we have spoken about three functions of a crawler. Now it is also important to know that, as I told you, that the Google has to crawl, or Google's crawler has to crawl millions and zillions of web pages every minute or every second, right? So it is, and ultimately it's a program. Okay, it has its own limitation. So what it does, it whatever website it is going to, it doesn't crawl all the pages. What basically the crawler does, in order to do the best crawling, it allocates a time to every website for crawling. Okay. For example, if Google crawler has come to my website for crawling, or this website for crawling, it will crawl the site for 1 second only. So what will happen in that 1 second? Whatever pages it could come across, it will crawl those pages and then it will exit from the site. Okay. So the time that is allocated by the crawler to crawl every website is known as crawl budget. Okay. It's known as crawl budget. And it is your duty, being an SEO of the site or being the webmaster owner of the site, it is your duty to use crawler's budget in the right manner, which means that when crawler is coming to your site, you should crawl only the important pages of your site, nothing else. Imagine there is a site that is talking about beauty tips. Okay, it is talking about beauty tips, or let's just not take beauty tips example at all. Let's say there is a site that is an educational site. It is providing information on a lot of courses, right? And it is, this website has profiles for the teachers. Okay, the profile pages of every teacher or every trainer has their own personal information like email ID, contact number, all of that. Or to some extent, they also have their degrees mentioned, okay, on that profile page. They are very, it is a very personal information. Now, if this is your website, would you want to rank those trainers' profile pages in Google? You would not want to rank because they are the I mean, obviously you have to maintain the trainer's privacy, right? You cannot violate the privacy of your trainer, you cannot lose trust. So, and obviously it is not relevant, right? So what will happen? Crawler has come to your site. Your website has 100 pages. Out of 100 pages, 30 pages are trainers' profile pages. And crawler came to your site for 1 second. Now, within that 1 second, crawler crawled 10 of your, let's say, crawler crawled total 40 pages. And out of 40 pages, 20 pages were your trainers' profile pages, and crawler crawled those pages and they started coming up in rank also. Now all of this was unintentional. You never wanted to crawl those pages, you never wanted to show up those pages in search result, right? So what actually happened, you have violated trainer's privacy and you have wasted crawler's time also. Am I right? Is that correct? So what you can do, you can rather define instructions for crawler that when you come to my site, you should crawl only these pages or you should not crawl these pages. If you do that, if you define those instructions, then crawler will follow those instructions and crawler will utilize that 1 second in the best manner. Now, defining the instruction for crawl budget is called the optimization. So there are ways that there are ways to optimize the crawl budget. I will explain these ways in the next week's session, which is about the on page. Okay, is everybody clear with optimization of crawl budget? That there is no standard count, Mayank. It depends on the size of site. Yes, Sumita, crawl budget is time allocated by crawler to crawl your website. It depends. It depends on lot of cases, on lot of factors, Mayank. Size of the site, how fast your website is loading. It depends on all of that. How well you have defined the instructions for crawlers. Sumita, I hope your question is answered, Sumita. Okay. So this is the definition I've already explained. Now, apart from the instructions that you can define to optimize scroll budget, there are few things that you should keep in mind. 1 second per page is, it's not, I was giving an example. Crawler will crawl your site for a certain time, Milana. It will come to your site only for a certain period of time. So I was giving an example that maybe, let's say crawler has come to your site only for 1 second. That was just an example. The time may vary according to the size of site. Okay. So according to my example, the 1 second when the crawler came to your site and crawl the pages is known as crawl budget. Optimization is, I gave an example. Did you hear my example? That if you want to crawl trainers profile pages or not. Did you hear my example, Sumita? No. Do you remember my example or not? Okay. So I told you that you would not want to crawl these trainers profile pages. You rather, so what you can do, you can define instructions for crawlers that when you come to my site, you should not crawl these pages. Okay, so defining instruction for crawler so that crawler is using the budget in the right manner is known as optimization. Are you clear now? All right. So apart from defining instructions, which we will be discussing in the next week session, there are few things that you can keep in mind uh, when you make your website, when you create your website and do SEO for your website. Make sure you are not using any page that requires Flash to install before loading. I'll show you one example here. So if you look at this page, if I click on Open Pixlr Editor, this page is asking me to install a Flash player in order to proceed for this page. Okay. Now, as a human being, I can go ahead and install Flash player. But do you think once Google crawlers comes to this page, it will read the instruction, will install the Flash player, and then will crawl the page? Do you think all of that is possible for Google crawler? No, right? It's a program. It cannot behave like human, right? So what will happen? The crawler will be stuck here. It will not be able to process further. It will not be able to crawl the page further because it will be stuck here. It will not be able to understand what to do on this page. So in that case, entire 1 second will get over here only. So you have completely wasted crawler's time by, by installing a Flash player or installing a Flash-based page on your website. So Google says, if you want crawler to crawl your pages smoothly, then make sure you are not using any rich media file or Flash file on your web page. Then second point is you should build enough internal and external link so that crawler is able to crawl every page on your website. One example we just saw here. So if you have built enough external link, if you have built enough network, then crawler can come to your website through any of these sites also. Okay, so that will make the crawling smooth for crawler. Then third is fix broken link. Many a times we come across pages that show a 404 page not found error like this. How many of you have seen the such error? This kind of error, how many of you have noticed? Yes, internal links means within the same website. So we come across this kind of error. This error is not good. It is known as broken page or page not found error. Okay, so there is no point crawling these kind of pages also that are throwing a page not found error. So make sure there is no such broken link exist on your site. How can you check for broken link is something I will again explain in the next week's session. Then there are simple file types. So the website can be developed into multiple languages. They are programming languages. Some of the languages that are easily crawled by Googlebot. So Google's crawler name is Googlebot. I missed telling this. I'm sorry for this. Google's crawler name is Googlebot. So there are a few languages that are easily crawled by Googlebot, and they are RSS, XML, and Atom. I will explain these in the next week's session. So wherever possible, you can make good use of these file types so that your pages are easily crawlable by Googlebot. And ultimately, basic point, make sure your pages are crawlable. So when we talk about optimization, optimization is basically making the site compatible for Google crawling and making the site compatible for user also. So there are two types of optimization that you need to focus on. First optimization is optimizing the site for search engine crawlers or bots. Okay. So when we talk about optimizing the site for bot, a lot of technical aspects come in picture. We will discuss these technical aspects in the next week's session. When other optimization is optimizing site for user, Google says if your site is not good for user, it will not be good for me also. So even before optimizing site for me, even before optimizing site for search engine, first optimize the site for user. It should be easy to navigate for user, right? User should be once they land on your website, they should be engaged. Okay, so the design or the interface of your site should be good. So that part is known as optimization for user. So to recap, search engines, there are many search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo. They have information stored into their database in an organized format. All of this is done with the help of three functions of a crawler known as crawling, indexing, and ranking. Crawling is reading the content on the web page and storing that information into database. Indexing is putting that information into the right segment in the database. And ranking is showing the right set of showing the right set of websites on the search result page based on more than 200 plus factors. That is ranking. Is everybody clear so far? Today's session is more theoretical, but from Thursday session, from Thursday, the sessions will be more practical. All right, now that we are clear with the search engine and search engine functions, it is time to know about SEO. SEO, as the name says, is search engine optimization, which means you are making sure your site starts showing up on top for a search query in search result page. So that is known as search engine optimization. Now there are few things that you should be aware of since you will be working on search engine optimization. You should be aware of these things. So when we enter a search query, this is a search query. When I enter this page that opens up in Google is known as search result page or search engine result page, SERP. Okay, this is known as search result page or search engine result page. Then on this page, you will see these kind of results that have this green color ad tag. Can you all see this? The green color ad tag on the left. These kind of results are the paid ads. They are the paid advertisement. These websites are paying to Google to show the advertisement on this for this search query on Google's page. Okay, they are paying to Google for every click. Okay, they are the paid ads. Then there is another, one second. Okay, then there is another set of result that do not have that green color ad tag, right? So these kind of result like this one, this one, this one, this one, there is no green color ad tag here. And these kind of results will be 10 on one page. Look at this. It starts till here we see the ad. Then from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it starts from here 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this video result 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so these kind of results will be 10 on one page of Google, and they are known as 10 organic results. Okay, so two type of results Google will show: paid results and organic results. Ads, I'm not sure, maybe 7. I have no knowledge on paid ads, Amrita. Okay, so organic results will be 10 on one page. Then you will also see this kind of card on the right hand side for a lot of search queries, right? This card is known as knowledge graph. It's known as knowledge graph. It is one of the rich cards that show up in Google search. Okay, so this, as the name says, this card will give you information on a topic. So here the knowledge graph is giving us information for the city Singapore. The right hand side card, Milena, this card is known as knowledge graph. All right, now if you change search query to a brand query, let's say I type name Flipkart, which is an e-commerce brand in India, then you will see information related to the brand here. In the right hand side card, you will see information related to the brand. Okay, so the name for this particular card will change to organization snippet. Okay, in case of brand name, if the card is showing, giving you information about the brand, then the name of the card will be organization snippet. But in case of generic query or a non-brand query, if the card is giving you information on a certain topic, then the card name will be knowledge graph. Okay, both of them are part of organic result, not paid. Then you will also see these kind of cards, things to do in Singapore. Okay, this is again the featured snippet. It's called featured snippet. It's a featured result by Google, featured organic result by Google. Okay, then you will see video carousels taken from YouTube, and in some cases just a minute. In some cases, you will see this kind of card. Can you all see this? The first one. This is also known as featured snippet. Okay. Now, this page that is coming up in the featured snippet will be one of the result that is coming in the organic result. One of the page or site that is showing up in the organic result. So if you look at this, this is a particular page of travel triangle called places to visit in Singapore for honeymoon. The same result is appearing here also. Okay. So this featured snippet is basically a bonus position given by Google to a particular search result. When Google thinks that a particular search result is very relevant to the search query, then Google will give that result a bonus position. So this position is known as position 0. Position 0 because it comes above all organic result. Okay, and it is a bonus result for a particular search result. Um, Now, apart from these results, if you look at these organic result, every organic result has a pattern to it, right? It is divided into 3 sections. First section is this blue colored text. Okay, every result has this blue colored text, right? Can you see this? Every result has a blue colored text. This blue colored text is known as meta title. You should remember all these terms because I will be using these terms throughout the module. Then there is this green colored text that appears right below the meta title. Obviously, this is the URL of the web page. Then below that URL, you will see a black colored text. In every result, there is a black colored text. This is known as meta description. Okay, everybody clear? Meta title, URL, and meta description. These 3 things will always be there in every search result. Guys, everybody clear? Featured snippet, knowledge graph, organization snippet. You cannot control them, Faisal. There are extensions, but it depends on Google on which extension to show. You cannot control them like SEM. That is carousel. Video carousel. I'm sorry I missed L in the word carousel. All right. Now, in some cases, you will see few results are showing data types. For example, rating. It is showing the rating data. It is showing review count also, right? And because of this thing, the result is standing out, right? If you look at all these results, this result is likely to attract your attention. It is likely to catch your attention. Why? Because it is showing something extra. Okay. So any data that appears in the search result is known as structured data. It's known as structured data. You can control what to show in the structured data, and I will explain this again in the next week's session, which is about on page. Okay. Then for brand queries, no, that is different. That rating is on the website. It is not a Google rating, Mayank. If we go to Travel Triangle page, this rating is mentioned on Travel Triangle page. That's a package rating, I think. Similarly, you have product rating, right? On e-commerce site, every e-commerce site has product rating. So it is that rating which is appearing here. Structured data is any additional data point that you see with the search result patterns. So apart from meta title, URL, and meta description, additional element is coming, which is showing rating and reviews. It is known as structured data. I will explain that in the next week session, Mayank. Yes, review and rating. Okay, I'll go back to slide now. All right. Now, these are the factors that we had discussed about. Sorry, these are the anatomy of search result, where we saw paid result, organic result, snippets, featured snippet, organization snippet, knowledge graph, schema, structured data, all of that. Now, the entire SEO depends on two success factors. One is on-page SEO, and one is off-page SEO. Okay, on-page SEO is all about doing changes on your site in order to make your website, in order to optimize your site for search engines. Whatever practices you implement on your website, with or without the help of your developer, is comes under on-page SEO. Then opposite to this, if you use external resources to optimize your website externally, then that comes under off-page SEO. So when we talk about on-page SEO, content plays an important role. Imagine there is a so let's say if you look at this website, Make My Trip website, some content is mentioned there, so that you are, because of this content, you are able to understand what the page is about. It says Singapore honeymoon packages. Then there are packages mentioned with number of days and nights, itinerary inclusions, and then there is this content where you can read about the USP of Make My Trip and all of that stuff, right? So all of this is content. Because it is useful for user also, uh, it is good for SEO as well. So the content that you add on your website should be optimized, should be keyword rich, okay? And it should be unique in nature. You should not copy the content from external resources and paste on your website. That is a wrong practice. Whatever content you are putting on your site, make sure it is the unique content, okay? And make sure the content is detailed enough. Don't just end up writing one line or two line for the namesake. You should put detailed content if you really want to optimize your page for search result. Then your website architecture. Imagine there is a site which is about the cake recipes, and there is no categorization on the site. You are looking now, every cake recipe is written one after another. Okay, there is no categorization. Every recipe is written one after another. Now, let's say you are looking specifically for white forest cake recipe. Now, because there is no categorization, do you think it will be easy for you to find that recipe? It will not be, right? You will be lost. So that is why categorization is very important. This is also a part of easy user navigation. So you make sure whatever pages are there on your site, make sure you map every page to the right category. Okay, that is where site architecture comes in picture. Give me a minute, guys. Yeah. No, Faisal, I'm saying that your page should be relevant to the search query. you will like get clarity in the next week session. I will be explaining everything about on page. All right. So, no, Namrita, content has to be written manually. Then only it will be unique in nature. You should never use tool to write any content. All right. Then third is HTML. So as I told you that there are multiple languages that can where you can develop the site. One one of the language that Google supports is HTML, hypertext markup language. And there are so HTML is basically a coding type. So with the help of HTML tags, there are multiple tags in the coding. Okay, there are tags in the coding. Using various tags, you can actually optimize your web page for the search queries. So this is about the on page. On page comprises of three things: content, architecture, and HTML. Then coming to off page. Off page is all about optimizing your site externally, which means you need to create backlinks for your site from other sites. Okay, they should point out to your website. You should also create remarkable content so that people, external people or external sites are liking the content and they are linking to you automatically. Then you should be involved into PR. It's a paid practice. Press releases, you have to pay for it. But if your company is able to do that, then that will also give you a very good SEO results. And social media is obviously an important thing, not just for SEO, but for branding purpose also. So make sure you have good social media presence as well. So how you can create a remarkable content? Make sure it is new, unique, well researched. It is providing good information to the user, and above all, it should be share worthy and should be posted regularly. So few social channels, slides apart from social media, SlideShare, Quora, YouTube, Pinterest, and Tumblr. So this is what we discussed. I will explain this table while explaining the on page and off page to you separately. So to recap, SEO helps you to build to be found on search engines and bring traffic to your website from organic search results. Two success factors of SEO: on page and off page SEO. On page is optimizing your website and user experience for search engines by providing quality content, by having a good site architecture with properly mapped pages, and by making good use of keywords in the HTML tags. Off page is all about building links from external site to your website by doing link building with the help of content, by doing social media, and by also doing PR and brand building exercises. And based on multiple parameters, search engines will rank web pages for every query. So that's all with today's session. We will start with first step of SEO on Thursday, which is keyword research. Yes, Mayank, like alt tag is a separate, yeah, right, alt tag is also a part of HTML tag. But just like that, there are a lot of other tags also. We will discuss that in on-page session. So I'm up for questions now. Thursday, I will explain keyword research process to you. And after that, I will also take you through the assignment. You can start asking your questions. Faisal, I think you asked one of the question. HTML is... You asked about score, quality score. Yeah. So quality score is the score of your ad, right? It depends on few factors like how is the title written, how is the description written, how is the keyword selection, right? So there are few parameters to the quality score, but the parameters are known to you, right? But in case of page rank is the rank for the entire page. Quality score is the score for landing page based on the ad copy that you are running. And page rank is the rank for a particular page that is assigned by Google. You just need to know the definition of terms, technical terms, Johnson, and where you can use what tag. That's all. You don't have to do coding and all, but you should be able to understand everything so that if you have to explain to your developer, you are not confused at that time. So I will give you that much knowledge. That is what I just now explained. See, guys, this is a question that almost everyone asks. So when we talk about SEO, remember SEO is little technical. Okay. Now, when I say technical, I'm not saying, I'm not asking you to learn coding. Okay, but you should be able to understand the technical terms. For example, if I had not explained page rank, you guys would have never known what page rank is, right? So now what is the algorithm behind page rank? You are not working on the algorithm. You are working on simple rules, how we can maintain the page rank, right? So this much knowledge is something that you need to have. Okay, so when I will explain HTML, I will show you where you can use keyword and how you can use keywords. But you don't have to go ahead and do coding. You can give instructions to your developers. So basically, you need to understand the process. That's all. If the website does not have enough content, how possible is it? Content is very important, KM. You need to have a very good content on your site. It is one of the important ranking factor. So by the way, I've told you that there are more than 200 plus factors in the algorithm, right? And I also told you that I will explain the important factors to you because nobody knows what those 200 plus factors are. So whatever factors we will be learning throughout this module are the important factor. There is no priority to those factors, okay? They all are equal. So you need to work on every factor, not just one or two, but every factor. Remember that. So content is again equally important. Johnson, Faisal, I hope I answered both of your questions. Right. Affiliate marketing also affects our website. No, SEO you mean, Mayank? No, it doesn't. Affiliate marketing will not leave any positive or negative impact on your website. Remember that. In SCM, we bid for keywords and on the basis of my ads. In SCM, you bid for keywords and on the basis of that, your ads are placed. How SEO manages to compete with such website. So that is what I told, that the site with maximum number of factor, the site that is able to pass the maximum number of factors come on top. So when I will explain these factors to you, you will understand it better, Faisal. And trust me, we think whatever websites come on top, they are mostly the famous sites. Most of the time, they are the famous site. We think that these are very big sites, so it will be difficult to outrank these sites, which is actually a myth. Okay, as per my experience, the famous sites have the poorest of SEO. So it is, you have a scope there. Just by working on the minus point of that website, you can implement those learnings on your site and then start outranking these sites. You're welcome. You show the external link which reduces the score. So why is it shown? What? Oh, that graph picture you mean? That is just for reference. It is not the actual score. It was just for reference to tell you guys how it happens, how it works. I think you're talking about these numbers, right? Percentage numbers. Oh, the Hindu newspaper. Hey, you don't have patience, Faisal. I will explain that in on-face session. A lot of people have left the session now. It'll be unfair if I explain it now. Yes, KM, I will explain that also. I understand, Faisal, but please be patient. I will explain everything. Don't worry. Meta description is the text, black colored text that appear right below the URL. That is meta description, Namrata. Okay, this is meta title. Blue color text is meta title, then the URL, and then the meta description. I hope I explained everything in the best manner. We are done for the day unless you have more questions. If you have questions, you can type, else you can leave. All right, bye bye. Snippet is there are multiple snippets. One, where is it? This this card, that is one of the snippet which is featured snippet. This kind of card. Then if you type a brand name, a card appears on the right hand side. That is organization snippet. This kind of card. This is organization snippet. All right, guys. So I'm assuming there are no more